Hello, my internet friends. This is a special commentary, and it is of the first kind. It'll be more of a story commentary. I'll tell you a story, and so it's not going to be Call of Duty related. But just to tell you guys, this game was like one of the closest free-for-alls I've ever played. So just to let you know, it's an insanely close match. But anyways, okay, so it's story time. I'm going to tell you the story of when I found out my girlfriend, now my wife, was pregnant and I was going to be a daddy. Okay, so let me back up. Let me talk about the night before. The night before, I was at a friend's house with about 6 other people, and he had this table, this rectangular table, and we set up about 5 or 6 Xboxes, and we were all playing with each other on Call of Duty online. He had an amazing setup, amazing internet, so we were all playing team death matches. We played like 100 games, maybe only lost twice the entire night. We were playing Mw3 Modern Warfare 2, and I was getting a bunch of nukes, and it was just an amazing night. And we basically stayed up all night, and in the morning, probably around 11 a.m., I get a call from my wife, was my girlfriend at the time, and she tells me that she went to the hospital because she was a CNA, a certified nurse's assistant. She works at old folks' homes and helps out, and so that's what her job was at the time. So what had happened was a elderly man sitting in a chair somehow rocked back too far in the chair, and she went to catch him, and her arm got caught beneath the chair and in between the chair and the floor, and this guy was a pretty heavier man, so I don't know why she tried to reach out and catch this man, but she tried, and her arm got stuck, and it was she feared that her wrist was broken, so she went to the hospital to get an x-ray, and for whatever reason, they took a blood sample, or she had to take a pee test or something, and so she found out that she was pregnant. But, so I didn't know that. So she calls me and tells me she went to the hospital, and she had to go in for x-rays, and then, so a couple hours later, she calls me. She calls me down from where I was. I was in an upper story apartment, second level, and she was in a parking lot in a restaurant that was near the apartment complex. So she calls me down, and I go down there. She tells me to get in the car, and so we're sitting in the parking lot, and she tells me that she found out that she was pregnant, and I guess to express how I felt at the time, on the outside, I was very sort of calm and cool, and that's kind of how I always am. I don't really get flustered too much, at least on the outside. But on the inside, I guess, sort of like a bomb went off, if that's how I can describe it. It's kind of hard. It's not like, oh, the world's gonna end, but it was like, just like an oh man, like what now? That's a huge deal. So I just kind of gathered myself because I knew that I couldn't be scared at the time. I really had to just gather myself, and I told her that it was going to be okay. We were gonna work this out, and everything was going to be perfectly fine. But honestly, it was rough. It was hard, and I knew I was going to be in store for a very sort of difficult life, a more difficult life. I was 18 at the time, believe it or not. Me and my wife had only been dating for about 3 months before I found out that she was pregnant. So we'd only been dating a small time, and interesting part was she wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant, and that's sort of the big underlying issue here. She had 2 doctors tell her that she could never be pregnant. She has cerebral palsy, and that really has nothing to do with the pregnancy too much, other than some struggles during the pregnancy, but just other complications, whatever. I'm not going to get into it completely, but just her doctors told her that she's probably not going to be able to have kids. So she did. And yeah, I guess, and that's how I found out, just in a parking lot, in a restaurant, and just really, when you go through that, or if you know somebody that goes through that, just why don't you leave a little message in the comments, finding out your girlfriend's pregnant, or you have a friend that finds out their girlfriend's pregnant, or maybe your sister was pregnant, whatever. It's hard, man. And if you think for a second that the woman isn't scared out of her mind, then she must be crazy. Okay? Because it is life altering, life changing, and you have every reason to be afraid and scared out of your mind, because your life will change. My life has changed so much because of that, and I don't regret it. I don't. And it might be one of those situations where, well, if I could take it back, my life would be a lot easier. And you know what? My life, I guarantee you, would be a lot easier. But it's okay, because I love my daughter so much, and I wouldn't trade her for anything in the entire world. And that's the truth. And I love my wife too. So it worked out well. More stories to come, guys. This video is wrapping up. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment if you have a similar situation, if you know of a similar situation. Anyways, this is Scott. Peace out.